Hello, everybody. I am Rangers Rando. That's all you need to know. I am a random dude who loves the Rangers with every ounce of his body, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just want to talk and rant and talk to, the void, the infinite void of whoever will listen. If it's no one, it's no one. If it's everyone, it's everyone. So, hello, everyone. Hello, no one. Let's get started. Welcome. I want to talk about these preseason lines that we're seeing Gallant kind of put together. Right, the first couple of days we were seeing Mika Zibanejad centering Chris Kreider and Sammy Blais, which if we just stop right there, that is a line that I was not expecting, frankly. Sammy Blais, obviously he got hurt last year. He had the ACL injury from PK Subban, who has since retired, but I see him more of like a third line, fourth line guy. It's just, I think we don't have anywhere else to really put him due to the other lines that have kind of shaped up over the rest of last year. So we have that. That's interesting. I'd be very interested to see how that one shakes out because Sammy Blais, I guess I just don't have enough tape personally, and I haven't seen him really skate enough. I know him and Lafreniere are buds, and they kind of were having something going last year, but they apparently want to see how he shakes out on the top line with Zibanejad and Kreider. So I'm excited to see that. I'm afraid I'm going to be a little underwhelmed just because that line alone last year had trouble producing in 5-on-5. Obviously, the power play was unmatched, but the 5-on-5 could still be tough, and I'm not sure if Sammy Blais really brings that deal of. He doesn't bring that extra level to that line, personally. Moving on, I would say, to the second line, we got Vinnie Trocheck, the offseason add-on, sure. And I'm excited for him. I think the general consensus is that he's a minor upgrade over Strome. Sad to see Stromer go. He's obviously a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy in the locker room, and I think he held a lot of the team together, but Trocheck I think he's going to help a lot with faceoffs and a lot just finishing, putting the puck in the net where Strome, I don't know, if you watch close enough, he missed a lot of nets, open nets. So I think Trocheck has the finisher in him. There's a good old saying, all Swedish, no finish. I think Trocheck is all finish. So we'll see that, and obviously playing with Artemi Panarin on his right on his left, is going to be something that will benefit him personally, I think, a lot. Trocheck, that is. He's going to flourish. It's honestly, one of the best left wingers in the league, and possibly the Rangers' best player and best playmaker. So that brings us to the right winger on that line, which as of day one, or the first few days of training camp, it was Vitalik Ratzal. And I got to say, Ratzal, I was very bummed, like many, how last year was handled by the Rangers organization, and they have had very poor track record with European or Russian prospects. The list goes on, but you could cite Lias Anderson. Obviously, we've seen Nils Lundqvist now has had to be traded. That's a little bit of a different story, but Kravtsov doesn't want to be known as the player who causes issues in the locker room or throws a tantrum, and the Rangers don't want to be known as the organization that throws prospects away and needs to trade them for half their value, which is what we were all thinking. But now, my point finally is that Vitali Kravtsov is back, and he is playing, at least for this first few days, for preseason lines version 1 on this top, or I guess second line, with Panarin, his countryman, and Vinnie Trocheck. I love that. I think playing under a Russian phenom like Panarin will do wonders for his game, and Kravtsov is also a natural-born right winger. So to have that sense of leadership, he's also going to be set up similar to Trocheck, that whole line. He's going to feed and feast off of Panarin and his just passing ability, his pure, crisp passes, and his ability to find lanes that basically no one else can. So I'm pumped about that. Third line, of course, the kid line. You seriously can't not be excited about this line. After the playoffs that they had, Hedl had, I think, like 11 goals in 15 games in the playoffs, something crazy like that. He has stepped up. He is going to be a problem when we need to re-sign him or want to re-sign him. The kid line is something. It's got my boy Kako on it. It's got Hedl, and I think Hedel's made great strides, and it's got Lafreniere, who, if he can continue to take steps, work on his skating, he's going to be something that the Rangers will cherish for a long time. I'm not going to so much touch on the fourth line. I think there's a lot of shakeups that could happen there. We have Goodrow's back, Reeves, Carpenter, Hunt, Gauthier is still in the mix, I think. So it's really just all over the place there. I think we'll have... The fact of the matter is, if you have Goodrow on your fourth line, you are in a good spot because he can fill up when there's injuries, but he can also hold his own and be a good defensive forward. And I also love Reeves. You gotta love Reeves. I guess you gotta hate him if you're playing against him, but I just love having on our team. I think he improves the culture so much, and I love that. To the D, obviously you have Fox and Lindgren. They're set. You got Miller, who everyone says is slated for a huge step up, a huge jump. And then Trouba, new captain Trouba, who, if we want to talk about that for a second, the Trouba captaincy, I was always on the Kreider train. I've seen Kreider, obviously, born and raised with the Rangers. He came over in the Tortorella year when I think he won with the Eagles, BC Eagles, and then showed a lot of promise in playoffs, and then he kind of trailed off. I don't know if that was an off-season thing or if he just didn't mesh with Torts or what happened. No clue, whatever. But he, we've seen him since he's been a kid, and now he's here, and I think he was the clear captain, but I think he's a little selfless and didn't want to take the spotlight. And Trouba, while at first I was bummed that it wasn't Kreider, I think Trouba is going to answer the bell like he has, especially in the playoffs when he was taking names. And other teams are going to be, on the lookout for that now this year, but Trouba is the Trouba train for sure. So all those top four, that's locked up. And honestly, the top five is locked up. Braden Schneider has played his butt off and played, honestly, just really good, solid NHL D for such a young kid. And I think he proved it. He's earned his spot, definitely. So it's his last spot that we got to talk about. And so going back to this, preseason version 1, Gallant put Libor Hayek with Braden Schneider. I think that's pretty hilarious. The running discourse on Twitter about that is like, Hayek, you can't get rid of Hayek if you wanted to, and God knows we want to. But, I trust Coach. Gallant is, so far, he hasn't done anything like brutally terrible with the lineup, and when he saw that the kid line was playing well, he stuck with it, and he's trying to stick with it again. But man, I would really like to see Jones. He's just got that, he's a smaller guy. I think he deserves a shot. He's had the whole right attitude about just like, if you need me to play AHL, I will. If you need me to, drop, give me 20, I will. If you need me to jump, I'll say how high. He's been like the total awesome just teammate, and I think he deserves it. And not to mention, like, that's not a reason alone to get a spot. I think he's skillful enough and has the ability to do that. So I guess that, at least after, I think it was maybe Thursday or Friday, that's where they left those lines. And we actually recently saw version 2 lines come out, and I think that's because they're probably going to split up the lineups for the different preseason games, get everyone a look, which is rightfully so. But and maybe this is for the tomorrow night's game, tomorrow, Monday, September 26th, against the Islanders. They had Kako up with Zibanejad, and Kreider, and they had Lafreniere playing right wing with Panarin and Trocheck, which I think is interesting because Lafreniere never got a shot at second line with Panarin or Strome last year and this year, but this year he's getting this shot with Trocheck, and I don't know what that says, but I think it's cool. I would be interested definitely to see that, and I think he has proven last year that he can play right wing even though he prefers left. So I think that's going to be worth seeing, definitely worth watching for me, the preseason game. So love that for the group, and I think also they finally did put my boy Zach Jones, together with Schneider today. So they're trying it out. Maybe that's just for tomorrow to see how it works. But here's the thing. If Schneider is a good shutdown, just like stay-at-home defenseman, he can generate, but he is solid and reliable. And I think we can bring Jones in. I don't know. I like Jones's game. I'm a smaller guy, so I kind of relate to that as being like a smaller defenseman, and just like needing to make up for it with your IQ, your hockey IQ, and then your skill more so than your size or your just brute size. So I love that, and I hope to see that tomorrow during the game. So this last spot, there's also been one more name thrown around to fill this spot, and directly against my previous point of wanting to see Jones, wanting to see, a player who's a little bit smaller, maybe just get a shot. That's just a personal preference. But we got Matthew Robertson, who is the opposite, really. I mean, he has skill, obviously. I think he has the skill to make the team, if not this year, then next year. But he's a big guy. he could, and I also wouldn't be against seeing the Robertson-Schneider matchup. It's hard because I'm just so excited for the whole season, and it's hard to have a real negative take about anything going on right now because it's the day before hockey, and I love that. I just can't get enough of it. Okay, one more thing. The New York Rangers Twitter content has been improving drastically. I think a lot of them are probably tap-ins of just, pushing content every day, but the engagement, at least for me, I've found this way more engaging than I've seen before, and I'm hoping maybe that's someone got they put a new person in there, or maybe someone new is running it, and already though it is increased my personal interest in the actual account, and also just pumped my hype levels for the season up 100%. And that's starting with the whiteboard thing. That it was like, my name is Rangers Rando. I've been in the league for 1 year, and whatever. My best friend is all of you guys, right? It's like that. But it was Lafreniere put Sammy Blais was his best friend. Keandre Miller put Lafreniere was his best friend. And then it was like Fox put Lindy, but Lindgren put Trocheck for some reason, and he spelled his name Tocheck. I don't know if it's just because they're mustache boys or what's going on there. But I thought that was funny, and then there was all this drama going on of like, oh God, they're starting the inner locker room drama. That people think they're best friends with each other, but they're really not. Or it's like a love triangle of best friends. Yeah, so it was hilarious. I thought it was really funny, and I want to see more of that from Rangers Twitter. From Rangers, the official Rangers account. I think the Rangers Twitter people in general are always so great, and it's hilarious to follow, and it's like 90% of my feed. So keep it up, everyone, and thanks for coming out and watching. And that is a wrap on this week's episode. Thank you so much for coming, hanging out with me, and watching. Please, if you enjoyed it, if you want to keep listening, keep hanging out, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever you need to do, and we'll ride out this season together. I'm so excited. The Rangers are going to be good this year. Mark my words, they'll be top of the Metropolitan Division. Count it now. Cannot wait. We're going to make some moves at the deadline. I am so excited. I can't wait. Please join me if you want. If you don't, I'll go back to speaking to nobody. Totally fine. Thanks, everyone.